We have here Rochana Chunchuchit Sussman, who is a former Almaty worker. And we have here Marut Kongpia, who's the former Global Horizon farm worker. And then we have Flor Molina. Please join us. She's a survivor from the Coalition to Abolish Slavery Trafficking case. So I'd like to welcome these three courageous souls, brave souls here onto stage. They are just amazing testament of resilience, and we're gonna get all emotional. So I think one thing we forgot here is a box of tissue. Okay, thank you. So one thing I did not plan somehow, forgot the tissue box, left out of my checkoff list. But we will also have, to help interpret for us, our staff attorney from Thai CDC, Patra Udomsin. So are we all situated? I know everyone's anxious to hear from these incredible individuals, and so let me go ahead and start. And I'd like you to just speak to each of these questions, and we'll try to get through this without breaking down too much. I know I'm going to try very hard to not break down as well. Let's start first so that people can hear directly from you your story. I know each of you have such incredible stories. So give a little snippet of what happened and your experience. Tell us your story. We'll start with Na. Na, fortunately, has learned to speak English very fluently. So she probably won't require an interpreter. So we'll go ahead and start with Na, and then we'll go down. So Na, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, which is such a great honor for me to be here and in this room and all of you. Let me take you back to 1995, one day before August 2nd. So the day that all of us were stressed and under surveillance and verbal abuse and forced to work until we're overtired. Start from 7 a.m. daily until 1 a.m. in the morning. And the workplace, as you saw on the documentary, which is unbelievable, because at that time when things start to happen, you didn't realize it. You were under the pressure. And all those times that we were working, some of us got so sick and I had to take pills, like allergy pills, because all the chemical from the fabrics that filthy in that area was very dirty, No fresh air to breathe. Imagine if all of us in this room all together were not allowed to leave, and all the windows and doors were locked. Not even a clean, fresh air to come in. You can pretend that you're holding your breath and listening to me right now. You feel suffocated. You feel powerless. That's how the victims feel. They felt like that. So then, luckily, 5 a.m., August 2nd, I heard the voice, the powerful voice, even though her Thai wasn't that great at that time. I had to mention it. But now her Thai, believe me, excellent, So back then, I can barely made it, but I've heard the voice that give me my hope and dream back. We are here to help you. Come open the door. Who can? They lock it from the outside. If we got caught in the fire, we'll be dead. Imagine that. We're not allowed to leave. So, and that was the day that I didn't realize it then, because we were horrifying. We were scared to death. I was hiding in the closet when the police went in. They broke in the door with their axe, and then they went in with a gun looking for us, but we were hiding in the closet. I decided I'm going to step out of the closet to let them arrest me better than to stay here. So we were escorted to line up in front of the compound. Remember those famous pictures that you saw? All of us were lining up. And then we being interviewed one by one. And then Chansey, I don't know how many times she kept trying to tell us that you're not committing a crime here. You're not a criminal. You are the victim. And we're going to be here to help you. So, and then how we got out from that compound. And then it was worse enough, but again, I'm glad that we're gonna leave that compound. So we got onto the bus and go to the holding tank in Los Angeles. Let's make a story short. So we went in there, being interviewed one by one again. You know, we should get deported, or they didn't know what to do with us at that time yet. So at night, we were sent to the terminal island in San Pedro to sleep in, you know, as you in jail. So every 6 hours they take turns watching you. They have to, okay, wake up and line up and count. I was in an beautiful orange uniform, as you remember, all those pictures again, And it was an amazing experience because they didn't know what to do with us. They tried to be very nice to us as much as possible. But before then, so Chansey and all her team all the volunteer team, when they tried to visit, and then would try to get us out. At that time, we were at loss emotionally, fear, confused, ashamed, so we don't know what to do as a victim. So Thai CDC was the one who I'm very close with and have taught me so many things that I should know. Check writing, bus taking, so everything, learning English, and I have to push myself, I have to learn so quick, remember? So every time I talk, I'm so sorry, I get too emotional, and I couldn't help it. It's just something that I remember a long time ago. So I think that's why I get over that and became who I am today, because I have to speak, even though I have this little voice, to speak up and to be in this situation. So some people, they get so afraid they would not be me, they would not come out and confront and say what their experience was, because they were so afraid of telling the truth, can go back to destroy their lives. But I can't do that anymore, so I have to come and to tell all of you about me.
Thank you. No matter how many times she has been just reliving the story and testifying and speaking truth to power and just always being that spokesperson on behalf of this case, it just doesn't get easy, I have to say. And I remember back then, I was moved to tears every day. I just couldn't stop crying every day. It's calmer now, but it's still very hard. Thank you so much. Now we'd like to also hear about yet another experience. As some of you may have learned from our other staff attorney, Panida, who was on the previous panel, she may have described some of the other trafficking cases that we had handled as an organization. Because the Almonte case, though it was the first case of modern-day slavery here in the US, and though it woke the world up to human trafficking as we know it today, it was just the tip of the iceberg. Because following this Almonte case, we had a half dozen more cases involving 400 more Thai nationals. And one of those cases was actually the Global Horizons case, a case involving 1,100 Thai farm workers who were brought here by Global Horizons Manpower Company to the US back in 2003. This case, believe it or not, is still ongoing. And you've heard from the attorney from EEOC, Anna Park, who has been handling that case. And Marut Kongpia is a survivor from that Global Horizons case, which the FBI has deemed as the largest human trafficking case in US history. So Thai CC sadly have the, I guess, unfortunate circumstance of actually taking on precedent setting cases, like the first case of human trafficking, the largest case of human trafficking, the first case of male labor trafficking, the first case of this, the first case of that. So that's, that's not a very good testament, but yet we have to fight. We have to continue fighting on. So Marut, please tell us your story.
ก็ต้องใช้ล่ามหน่อยนะครับผมพูดภาษาอังกฤษไม่เป็นผมชื่อมารุตครับมาจากมาเมื่อปี 2005 มาอยู่บริษัทโกโบอะไรเส้นเนี่ยครับ
My name is Marut. I came here in 2005 and I came with the Global Horizon case.
ถามว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นกับตัวผมที่มาอเมริกาก็ตอนนั้นอยู่เมืองไทยก็ทำงานรับจ้างวันละ100 กว่าบาทครับก็ไม่พอกินครับเขาพอดีมีนายหน้าเขาไปหาในหมู่บ้านว่างั้นเถอะครับก็ชักชวนมาอเมริกาครับ
So what happened to me is that when I was back in Thailand, I was trying to survive on a wage of about 100 baht per
ก็ต่อวัน
100 baht per day, which is barely enough to survive. And then the recruiters came to my village.
ก็หวังว่าจะมาทำงานตามที่เขาบอกว่าเดือนละ 80,000 กว่าบาทต่อ1เดือนครับก็หวังจะได้เงินไปช่วยครอบครัวทางเมืองไทยครับจะได้เป็นอยู่ที่ดีขึ้นก็เลยตัดสินใจมาอเมริกา
So I hope to work as the recruiter promised of 80,000 baht per month, so that much money it could help my family live a better life in Thailand. So that's why I came here.
ก็ตอนนั้นมาก็ค่าหัวคิดเป็นเงินไทยในหน้าเอาก็550,000 บาท
So the recruitment fee was 550,000 baht. That was quoted to me.
แล้วก็ผมก็ไม่มีเงินครับต้องเอาใบที่บ้านที่นาก็ไปกู้ธนาคารมาก็เอาเงินให้ทางนายหน้าเขา550,000ครับก็คิดว่าจะมาทำงานว่าจะได้เงินเดือนละ 80,000 กว่าบาทนี่ก็ประมาณสัก1 ปีเราก็ใช้หนี้ใช้สินหมดก็ที่นั้นเราก็จะเหลือก็จะไปอย่างน้อยเราต้องให้ลูกเราได้เรียนหนังสือที่ดีขึ้นให้ครอบครัวเราเป็นอยู่ที่ดีขึ้นที่เมืองไทยขึ้นปรากฏว่ามันไม่เป็นเช่นนั้นครับ
So because I didn't have that much money, I need to put my house and my family farm as collateral to get the loan, and so I would be able to get the recruitment fee, so I'd be able to come here. I thought that with what they promised of 80,000 baht per month, I can just pay off the debt by 1 year, and then any other money I can is to send back to Thailand so that my children can have better education and better life.
ก็ตอนนั้นผมก็ไปอยู่ที่ทำงานอยู่ที่วอชิงตันฮะสเตทครับยากิมาเมืองยากิมา
So I went to work in Yakima in Washington State.
ก็ไปกับเก็บแอปเปิลครับตอนนั้นได้อยู่ประมาณสัก3 เดือนครับ
It's 3 months of picking apples.
ถามว่าทำไมเพราะอะไรถึงหนีก็ตอนนั้นโอ้โหถ้าลำบากใจมากครับที่หนีว่าตอนนั้นครับได้ประมาณสัก3 เดือนครับ
So if you ask me why I decided to escape, it's a lot of story.
ก็มาทำงานก็ไม่ตามเป้าตามบางวันบางอาทิตย์ก็มีงานวัน2 วันอย่างเงี้ยบางอาทิตย์ก็ไม่มีเลยก็ไม่ได้ทำงานก็คิดหนักแล้วครับหัวสมองคิดหนักแล้วไหนจะเอาเงินมาใช้หนี้ใช้สินที่เมืองไทยที่เรามาฮะ
The work was not as promised. There's not enough work. It's sometimes just 2 to 3 days per week. Some no works at all, and I just very under a lot of stress. Like I have to pay off my debt. How to get the money to send off to Thailand and everything like that.
วันนั้นก็คิดหนักแบบไม่อยู่คืนหนึ่งครับก็มีทนายเข้ามาที่บ้านแล้วก็มีคนที่บ้านโทรไปบอกเขาก็เจ้านายที่บริษัทโกโบเขาก็เอาปืนมาขู่นะฮะเอาปืนมาขู่เอาปืนทั้งปืนยาวปืนสั้นเลยนะมาขู่ผมครับ
So one day there's an attorney that came in and somehow the word got out so then the boss from Global Horizon came to us workers with guns to threaten us.
ก็อยู่กันหลายคนประมาณ20 กว่าคนครับบ้านหลังนั้น
There were 20 of us in a house that we were staying.
ก็เลยปรึกษากันก็เลยก็ เลยก็หนีกันครับตีสี่หนีกันเลยวันนั้นที่คิดหนีก็มีอยู่2 ข้อข้อแรกก็กลัวความไม่ปลอดภัย
So we talked among us Thai workers, and we decided we have to escape. And the two main reasons. The first reason is that we have to escape for our own safety.
ข้อที่2ก็เขาก็จะส่งเรากลับเมืองไทยงานก็ไม่มีแล้วตรงนั้นเขาจะส่งกลับเมืองไทยแล้วเราก็คิดหนักละถ้าเราไม่หนีเรากลับเมืองไทยเขาส่งกลับเมืองไทยแล้วก็หนี้สินเราก็หมดต้องเอาที่ไหนมาต้องขายบ้านขายที่นาใช้หนี้ใช้สินเขาก็เลยตัดสินใจหนีกันครับ
The second was the debt, because we decided because they said to us that they're gonna send us back to Thailand, and if we were sending back, how are we gonna pay off our debt? Then we're gonna lose our house, we're gonna lose our family farms, our way of life, and there's no way we can live.
ก็หนีมาอยู่ที่ LA ครับมาอยู่เป็นพ่อครัวทำร้านอาหารครับ
So I escaped to Los Angeles to become a cook in a restaurant.
ใช้เวลาประมาณ8 ปีกว่าจะใช้หนี้จะสินหมดอะครับ
It took me 8 years to pay off my debt.
ถามว่ามาเจอไทย CDC ได้ยังไงก็พอดีมีลุงคนหนึ่งเขาแนะนำมาผมก็เลยมาหาศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทย CDC ก็มาเจอคืนจันซี่เป็นคนแรกเลยครับก็ดีใจมากครับตอนนั้น
So as to how I met Thai CDC, there's one uncle who recommended me that I should go and talk to Thai CDC, and Chancellor is the first person I talked to.
ก็ได้รับความเป็นอยู่ที่ดีก็ทางศูนย์ภาษาอังกฤษก็ไม่รู้ครับแล้วก็ทางศูนย์ก็ช่วยทำเรื่องขอฟู้ดสแตมป์ให้แล้วก็อาหารการเป็นอยู่ที่ดีขึ้น
So my life is getting better. The Thai CDC helped us a lot. I don't have any English. And Thai CDC helped us with food stamp and help us to finally have a better life.
ก็อยู่มาประมาณ8 ปีก็ใช้หนี้ใช้สินหมดก็ตอนนี้ก็ทางศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยช่วยเหลือมาก็ตอนนี้ได้รับกินการมาได้2 ปีแล้ว
So it's a better life now. It took me 8 years to pay off my debt, and now I have green card for 2 years now.
ตอนนี้ก็ครอบครัวผมลูกเมียก็ได้มาอยู่ที่นี่หมดแล้วผมก็ดีใจมากครับที่ศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยช่วยเหลือครอบครัวผมมาครับ
And now all my families came here to live with me in the United States, and I'm really glad that Thai CDC helped me.
ครับก็ถามว่าความยุติธรรมมีไหมผมสำหรับตัวผมว่ายังไม่มีพอเพราะทางคดีโกโบก็ยังไม่เสร็จสิ้นฮะแล้วก็อีกอย่างหนึ่งก็คดีอาญาก็ถูกทางศาลยกเลิกไปแล้วครับผมก็ตอนนี้ผมก็ยังสู้คดีแพ่งอยู่ยังไม่จบเลย
If you ask me if justice been met, I'm not sure, because it's still going on with Global Horizon case, and especially the criminal case was dismissed, and now there's still civil case going on.
ก็ผมก็ไม่มีอะไรมากครับขอขอบคุณทางศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยมากๆเลยที่ช่วยเหลือทางพวกเกษตรทางพวกผมมาครับ
So there's nothing much. I just want to thank you, Thai CDC, to help us agricultural workers.
เพราะฉะนั้นผมลึกๆนะผมอยากให้ศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยหรือไทย CDC ของเราเนี่ยอยู่คู่กับคนไทยที่นี่ตลอดไปเลยครับจะได้ช่วยเหลือคนไทยไปเพราะบางคนที่ถูกนายจ้างถูกเอารัดเอาเปรียบอีกต้องจะได้ช่วยเหลือคนไทยต่อไปครับขอบคุณมากครับ
So in my heart, I want Thai CDC to stay and help Thai people forever, especially to many Thai workers that gotten taken advantage of by their employers to help us.
Thank you, Marut. That really makes our work easier and motivates us to continue this work, because it is not easy work, and the fact that we can feel gratified to see the fruits of our labor helps us continue and go on. And Marut, I just want to also mention his case is an example of a legalized form of trafficking, and you had the previous panel talked about the guest workers program. This is exactly the case that is as a result of the guest workers program. So it is indeed very close to slavery, this program. So next we have Florina. Florina is amazing. She has gone through so much, and then she was directed to get help from the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking, which is a premier anti-trafficking organization that Thai CDC co-founded in 1998. And El Monte case was the impetus that helped start the coalition. So Florina, please share us your story.
Hi everyone, thanks for coming, and I feel so honored. Thanks for inviting me to be here today celebrating the 20th anniversary of Thai CDC. I think if there were not organizations like Thai CDC or CAST, I don't know what we would do. We are here today, empowered, speaking about this issue, but thanks to great organizations like Thai CDC and CAST. As a member of the Coalition to Abolish Slavery and Trafficking Survivory Caucus, I'm here to speak and share a little bit of my story. My story is long, but I'm going to make it short. I was contacted in my hometown in Puebla, Mexico, with the great opportunity to go to the United States. My sewing teacher told me when I get to the United States, I will have a place where to stay, job, and a house. And I said yes because I was a desperate mother. I had just lost my baby. I didn't have money to take her to a better hospital, and she passed away. After my baby passed away, I felt that I have failed as a mother because I thought why I didn't go and beg and get money to save her life. But it was such a difficult time. So when the opportunity came to my door, I said, why not? In my mind, and as you all hear, the promises, and back home, US dollars are money. US dollars count. Here is just like regular money, but back home is a lot of difference. So I thought, why not take this opportunity, go to the United States, work for 6 months and go back to my kids and start my own business. By this time, I had already written a letter to the governor, and I had my goal to have my own business. I was planning to have my sewing business. So, and I felt comfortable in saying yes because my sewing teacher was coming with me. I didn't know the other people, but I knew one person, which was my sewing teacher. So, and she was coming. So when I got to the United States, I realized that everything was a lie. I was locked up in a factory. As Nat mentioned earlier, the same. I was locked up, and there were bars that they would close them when the other workers left. And as she mentioned, I was really, really scared in case of fire, how I was going to escape. There was no place where I could hide or how I could escape, and I didn't know one word in English. I didn't know where I was. I didn't have money. I had nobody in the United States. My family didn't even know if I was alive or not because I wasn't able to communicate with them. And it was a really, really hard condition. And the only opportunity I had to escape was by asking my trafficker to let me to go to a church because I had promised to God if I make it alive to the United States, first thing I would do is to go and thank God in a temple. So it was really hard to get that permission, but my trafficker, I think, got tired because I was so insistent. And then she allowed me to go to a church that Sunday. And that's why I always say that God was was the key to my freedom. Because that Sunday, to my surprise, the person who monitored my movements or who stayed with me at night didn't want to go with me to church. So when I walked out from the factory to the parking lot and I realized I was free, I decided not to go back. And thanks to a Good Samaritan, which was my coworker who had given me her phone number, I called her, she came and took me to a restaurant, and I never got back. But the retaliation and the trafficker got so mad because I escaped, and she was violent, she was abusive, and the most important thing, she's from my same hometown, so she knew my family back home. And but still, I decided not to go back. I had to hide for many, many years. When I started speaking in public, I didn't use my real name because I was afraid of my trafficker. But after going to many, many conferences and meeting people like Chansey and other good Samaritans, I decided to go public and use my real name to tell my trafficker that she has no power over me no more. And after recovering for the fear and all the trauma, with the help of Cass and the other survivors, I went public and I was able to start telling people that this issue is real and it's happening here. And I had the opportunity to testify for 4 bills now. 2 of them became already laws, one of them, and I feel so happy whenever they mention SB 657. And actually, just something to say, it was signed in this room. I was here when the signature ceremony was here at the Museum of Tolerance, and I was here in this room. And the other one is AB 22. So I feel so honored and encouraged to continue doing raising awareness, because I think it's important, and I was in tears when I saw the video, the documentary, because as the survivor said, this is real, it's real, and we are living proof that human trafficking still exists. And I just want to end saying that human trafficking exists. It's not only sex trafficking, it involves minors, elders, all ages, all nations. This is the only issue that doesn't discriminate. That is not, yeah, and it comes in all these different forms, and I call it, this is like a monstrous that doesn't have a face. It doesn't have only one specific type or one specific side. It involves all these different mechanisms and that is why it's so difficult to recognize this issue. So I thank everyone for being here and learning about human trafficking, and hopefully one day we can eradicate. And I just want to say that don't forget that it involves men, women, and children, and also the lesbian transgender. So don't forget, and let's not stereotype. Let's not only mention sex trafficking. Sex trafficking exists, labor trafficking exists, so let's not forget that it has all these different forms. And if something doesn't feel to be right, say something, contact something, tell to somebody who can maybe bring a light into somebody else's life.
Our faith is incredible. They're just amazing heroes, and oh my goodness, just was so so touched by all these stories that I also know very well, but still every time I hear them, and these are so powerful speakers and heroes who are really living proof of what happened and how it still exists and can happen and can continue. But they've overcome a lot and overcome that trauma and now are able to tell their stories, and what a powerful voice they have become. And getting to that powerful voice, I want to know where and when you found that voice finally, because of course, TICC, we saw the trauma, and some of our staff experienced vicarious trauma as a result as well in serving victims and survivors, because when we actually come to the aid of victims, we see timid, voiceless, scared, fearful individuals, and while we try to help them restore their dignity and regain a sense of what it means to be a human being and given respect, accorded respect and dignity, they have all these traumatic experiences and emotional issues they have to go through first. And for us, the first and foremost important thing to do is to really secure the welfare and the well-being of the victims, and then begin the re-socialization to reintegrate them into society. But it's a process, and I want to hear, because this is, I think, the transformation that takes place that is so inspiring, and I think the audience really would be inspired to hear that as well. So tell us, when did you finally find your voice and found the courage and the power to, number one, first to not to speak up, but to understand how to pursue justice and why it was important to pursue justice?
For myself, when we started out, I was very confident because the way you guys were treating us like we're your family. And I think it was we're not a criminal. That's the way we were treated from you guys. We're like family. So we all in this together, ups or down, we're going to be part of this, and you're going to help me get through this. And that's what I was very confident about. And I have learned, that doesn't matter, traumatized, trauma or nightmare or bad thing could have happened to us. But we realized that we have to learn how to let it go. And this is our new culture. We're going to make a new history. We're going to leave everything behind. And I think most of us didn't feel comfortable at first to speaking up. Like, I also so many times went out there to give us testimony against the retailers and all of that. Along the way, we have learned how to get over and be patient and learn from all of you how confident you guys were. And we all in this together like a family and a good mentor, especially with Chansey. I spend a lot of time in her office waiting for her until 1 in the morning sometimes. And we go out to lunch and we get together. And apparently, me and Chansey and her staff most of the time, because usually Thai CDC was on 3rd Street back then. And I have learned so much. I have met some people from Kiwa, which is also great leadership people, great team, and good advice that I have learned from them. I haven't done anything wrong. If I want to raise my voice to call out for justice, I should be able to do so, and that's why I did that.
Thank you. And I'm glad you mentioned Kiwa, because I want to do a shout out to Kiwa and to PwC. They are in the house. Koreatown Immigrant Workers Alliance and Filipino Workers Center, we shared office space together for 9 years on 3rd Street. And they were very much a part of the organizing involved in helping, especially in particular Kiwa, because PwC wasn't formed yet, formed later, but then Kiwa initially was there basically to help the workers understand the whole garment industry. And they were the ones who campaign around retailer accountability. And so they have the retailer accountability campaign and help the workers develop the leadership skills, the speaking skills, the communication skills, and help them go out there to actually engage in these direct action campaigns.
I'm sorry, because we've been picketing together for so long, I couldn't forget them.
Yes. So Kiwa, very much a part of our coalition here after the Almonte case. So we're going to hear from them soon as well. So Marut, when did you find your voice? When did you understand that this was a matter of justice and you had to pursue it?
ก็ตอนที่รู้สึกเกิดความกล้าขึ้นก็เห็นศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยนะที่มีเกิดความกล้าคือก็มีความอบอุ่นนะถ้ามาเจอที่ศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยแล้วมีความอบอุ่นแล้วก็เกิดความมั่นใจขึ้นนะที่จะต่อสู้กับสิ่งนี้ครับ
So the reason I found my courage is that it's essentially it's with Thai CDC, because every time I went there, it's warmed my heart, and it really built up my courage and made me realize that I have to fight.
ตอนแรกก็ไม่กล้าหรอกก็เมื่อศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยก็มีกำลังใจขึ้น
Yeah, so at first I just don't have the courage, but with help from Thai CDC and Arthur, I found my courage to fight.
Thank
Okay.
you. So this is where the role of nonprofit organizations and advocacy groups, play an important role too, in helping the workers understand that they can assert their rights and they can pursue justice. So, Flor, how did you find your voice?
That's very important. I think it's a very important question, and actually I haven't ever thought about it, but when I came out from the situation, the same as Nat mentioned, it's not only CAS that has helped me along the way. The first organization that helped me was Chirla, and then I met Kiwa. I have worked also with Kiwa. We just did a project recently with Kiwa. So Kiwa and Kiwa, Chirla, ICDC, CAS, and among many, many other organizations have helped me along the way. But I think one thing takes to bring the strength in a person is finding the other person who believes in you, who believes that what you are saying is true. I think that's very, very important, and I think finding that helped me to have the courage to speak out. And as I said, the first organization that I met was Chirla, and Chirla brought me to CAS, and these organizations and the people that I met along the way, they helped me to have the strength to speak out.
Thank you. And now, where are you now? Tell us about your life now. What are you doing? Maybe you could go back to you and then come back around this way.
Where am I now? Well, I think I have now, I would say, a normal life. With the help of CAS and other organizations, I was able to get reunited with my children in year 2010. So now I'm a mother, which I miss so much. And I'm a worker, I'm an employee, I work, I'm a mother, I'm planning to go back to school. And I consider my life stable now. I have a green card thanks to also to the help that I have received. I learned how to speak English. I think it's very important, and now I'm an activist. I speak whenever I'm invited to go and speak. And basically, I feel that my life is almost normal.
And mind you, we call her Officer Molina now. Because she's now security for City of LA. So it's Officer Molina. So we're now we should be scared of you breaking the law here.
ชีวิตตอนนี้ก็รู้สึกก็ดีขึ้นค่ะดีขึ้นมากเลยที่ได้ครอบครัวมาอยู่ที่นี่ทั้งลูกทั้งเมียเลยก็ดีมากครับ
My life now is really better, especially now that my family, my wife, and my children are here.
คิดว่าดีกว่าอยู่เมืองไทยมากเลยนะ
It's a better life than what I had in Thailand.
ขอบคุณศูนย์ส่งเสริมชาวไทยมากๆเลยที่ช่วยครอบครัวผมมาอยู่ตรงนี้ก็ขอบคุณมากเลยครับ
I thanks Thai CC and everyone that helped me with the case and about bringing my family to live with me here.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank all of you and all the organization and all of you who be part of this and support all of us all this time, with either Thai CDC or even all of you. I don't recognize all your names, but it's all in my heart, It's all in my heart. Thanks to all of you. And my life has been a wonderful life, to live in because I reunited with my kid. I have everything here, so I'm going to continue, emotionally because I truly appreciate all your hard work. Without all of you, single act from you and can take to an account because you believed in me and I believe in you. I have faith in all of you that you're going to continue changing. And I will be in this community as American family. We all together, we all in this together. We have to look after each other because all the workers, they are the key important role. That If you destroy your economic because you forget to look after your neighbor, your friend, somebody who work under you, even the one who cook a burger for you, you forget everything. You're gonna end up losing everything. So thank you for doing your part. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're gonna also now take questions from the audience, but before we do, I want to do another shout out to another El Monte survivor who's sitting here next to Rochana's husband. Could you wave, Bua? So, very powerful, very moving, just incredible, incredible stories here. And I'm sure you have lots of questions for these amazing individuals. And this is all about movement building. You know, they are now coming together as a force for change. They're all change agents. And they're the ones who are going to really be the force to combat trafficking. They're key. So they're just, yeah. So keep up your work and keep being that voice for change. And so, audience, the time is yours. We like to give you the opportunity to ask questions. Anyone with questions? Yes. Please state your name and organization or any affiliation.
My name is Pam Michelle. I also work along with CAST on the Survivors Advisory Caucus. I'm curious what your experience has been, and are you all still feeling at this point, are you stuck in the trauma? At some points, do you feel like you fall back into it, or at what point can you say, yes, I can put this behind me? Have you gotten there yet? And what can we look forward to in terms of your recovery?
For me, every time I talk about it, my emotional show up. This is nothing at all, but I got over my trauma, and I'm doing a lot of things. I'm a very positive person, and I'm a very forgiving person. I never hold any grudges. I forgive them since day one. It have nothing to do with that, but it just our future in our country. It matters to me. I'm crying out loud, so you can see, you can feel. I'm the one who's the victim, and we live everybody else's life who in the same situation, like me. But to tell you the truth, I'm not someone who's stuck in trauma. Every time I speak up, I have to show who I was 20 years ago. But now I'm not like that. When you see me outside, you couldn't recognize that I'm a trauma. In a victim case, something like this would never ever occur to you. When I start speaking, I show you how we felt when we were in that situation, more hopeless. And that's what I want to show to you, so you understand exactly what I've been through. But from now, I have to tell you, I'm a happiest person. I have my kids, I have my family, I have my life together. And I'm gonna open up a restaurant in Thai town next year. So thank you.
Did you want to answer that?
Yes, I think it's a very important question, Pam. I am glad that you mentioned that you don't. I think somehow this experience changed my life. And I don't know if it's trauma, but it's something that came out after the situation that I experienced. I'm very concerned about safety. I'm always looking around, always the blinds. I rarely open the blinds, even now. It's been quite a long time since my case was. When somebody called me, I never answer if I don't recognize the number. My friends are in my cell phone, so I know who's calling me, but if you are not on my directory, I doubt it to answer. I never open the door without asking who is the one who's knocking the door, which is rarely that somebody knocks at my door, but vendors get in, they knock at my door, and my kids tell me, Mom, why you are always like really, really careful about safety? And it's something that I developed after the experience. So I don't know if, can you call that, but it's after trafficking situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and also trusting people. I'm very honest. And when people tell me something, I tend to believe, but I figure out that people lie 95% of the times. So now I, yeah, because people tell me something and I believe it, and then later on, no, it was a joke. I'm like,
So she's learned to be wary and also to be very careful. So if you don't have an answer, we could go on to the next question. ทำใจได้ยัง
ถึงทำใจได้หรือยังผมมันสำหรับผมว่ามันไม่ยุติธรรมคือสำหรับตัวผมนะอย่างผมอยากจะไม่มีความแค้นอะไรอยากจะให้ทางของผมเนี่ยอยากจะให้ทางโกโบหรือเจ้าของฟาร์มใช้ค่าเสียหายผมบ้างอย่างผมกู้หนี้ยืมสินก็มาเยอะนะดอกก็ออกเยอะ ผมต้องใช้เวลา8 ปี9 ปีกว่าจะใช้หนี้หมดอย่างเงี้ยแล้วตัวนี้ผมผมอยากจะได้ตัวเนี้ยมาชดใช้ค่าเสียหายให้ผมบ้างเพราะผมเสียเวลาอีกต่างหากเสียความรู้สึกอีกต่างหากเนี่ยก็จะให้ผมปล่อยวางก็มันก็เป็นไปไม่ได้นะผมอยากจะได้ตรงนี้มาใช้หนี้ให้ผมบ้างทดแทนที่สิ่งที่ผมเสียหายออกไปครับเนี่ย
If you ask me if I can let it go in the past, well, for me personally, it's not like I want revenge. It just I want some people like global to at least pay me for the money that I had to put up, that I had to go in debt. It took me 8 years to pay it off, for the time that I lost, and you know, and I mean, I lost my feeling, I lost my health, and you know, I want justice.
โอเคครับคุณมีแค่นี้
That's
you.
about it.
Any other questions from the audience? State your name, please.
Hi, I'm June. I work at Center for the Pacific Asian Family. My question is more along the lines of vision. What would be your ultimate vision to prevent a situation like this from ever happening again?
For myself, because who helped me first is non-profit organization, like among all of you, who came and give me the right, I believe it's from all of you first, who introduced me. I want all these organizations to get a lot of support, a lot of help from our community. That's one way I'm looking at it, because they know everything and they update everything. Their system is working since day one, but they just need more money and more care and more patience into their, non-profit organization, more education, And government is great. I love government. I love all the lawyers, attorney, and everything. But they can't work to reach out to the survivor, to the victims, who is in the first level 0, below ground or something. They can't reach those levels. But I appreciate every single step that we take. But non-profit organization is number one for me. So I will be that voice to continue to do this work. But without all of them, it won't be me today. It won't be me. And thank you for your question. I'm thankful for that. Thank you.
For me, my vision, I hope, is to eradicate human trafficking. And I think the more we educate ourselves, and also we cannot fight human trafficking alone. All us together, we have to play our role. Government, NGOs, us as civilians, if we see something that is wrong, raise our voice. I'm not saying go and rescue, because we are not going to put ourselves in danger, but let's tell someone, a friend, tell the lawyer, tell the police, tell someone. And my vision was educating governments from the originating country, like I'm from Mexico, and I'm so happy to see that now Mexico is working, is passing laws, and is working to raise awareness, to learn about the issue. I'm not saying it's perfect because it's so much work to do. And as I said, we cannot eradicate human trafficking working alone. We have to join forces because human trafficking is a problem that exists. And as I said earlier, it has all these different forms. So that's why the more we learn, the more we'll be able to fight it. But only working together, joining forces, doctors, nurses, lawyers, police, firemen, everyone. Only this way, I think, we can eradicate. Hopefully, one day we will say there's no more human trafficking, but it's a long way to go. But only creating awareness, only being more, like Nat said, caring about our neighbors, caring about the human being, not only our neighbors, but caring about a human being a human being. Is what I think.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you. You have something to add, Marit? Before we.
สำหรับผมก็อยากจะฝากไปถึงเพื่อนๆที่อยู่เมืองไทยหรือประเทศอื่นก็จริงเนี่ยที่มีในหน้าจะเขาไปหามาอยากจะมาอเมริกาเนี่ยบอกอยากให้เพื่อนๆเนี่ยตรวจสอบให้ดีก่อนที่จะตัดสินใจมาที่นี่
I just want to tell to all my friends in Thailand or any other that my dream to come United States, that really think about it before you really commit to coming here.
Well, now, if anything, these are the folks who should be the consultants, the advisors, the leaders, the people writing the laws, to fight trafficking, because they lived it. They got the first-hand experience, and they know exactly what needs to be done. So let's hear it for them. Let's thank them for their vision, their leadership, their courage. Thank